that club is Bermudian Springs, and it's just in the process of getting itself off the ground. Well, now I'd ask the club advisors to introduce themselves and the officers of their clubs participating in the meeting today. How about we start with Dallastown?
Thank you. My name is Michelle Godfrey, and the advisor of our Dallastown Leo Club, and I have our president here tonight, Joy.
Okay.
Hi, my name is Joy. I'm the president, and we have about 15 members in our club, and we meet every Tuesday of each month. And so far, we've done service projects like the Halloween parade, and we've done road cleanups and park cleanups.
You have any planned yet this year?
In the future, we are doing like food collections and Christmas baskets, and in February, we're hosting a Valentine's murder mystery play.
Wow. Thank you, Dallastown. Why don't we go to Apple City?
Mm. Thanks, PDG Dan. My name's Dennis Cope. I'm also a past district governor and advisor for Apple City Leo Club. We've got two of our officers here, our vice president, one of our vice presidents. We actually have two vice presidents, Anthony Kane, as well as our club secretary, Jackson Toller. Jackson, I think, was going to go through the some of our club activities, but we're having trouble with his audio. So try it again there, Jackson. Just say, move your lips, talk, and see if we can hear you. Yeah, nope. Sorry about that. So that's not working. So, Anthony, I hate to put you on the spot. Can you give a little bit, and I can fill in what you don't cover as far as some things our club's been doing?
Yeah, the president actually gave me her notes on this, so I can read
Oh, great.
those right now. Yeah. So, hello. Unfortunately, the president could not attend, so instead, I, Anthony Kane, co-vice president of the Apple City Leo Club in Biglerville, am reading the notes. At Biglerville High School, we take pride in our club. We have approximately 26 members, and we grew our club significantly from last year. This is my first year as vice president and second year in Leo Club. We meet on the first Monday of every month in our school, and we talk about various topics, including volunteering opportunities, upcoming events, and new members. We so far have done a road cleanup, helped with the South Mountain Fair, helped with the apple harvest, and done preschool vision screenings. Our upcoming events that we have planned are the UAIS paint night on Friday and the Upper Adams Intermediate School decorating for Christmas. And finally, we are planning on doing the Special Olympics Christmas dinner. Thank you.
Very, very good. Scott, how about Tempest Leo?
Um, Good afternoon. My name is Scott Henderson. The Tempest, the reason why it's called Tempest Leo Club is the Tempest Club, which is an acronym for Time Eventually Makes People Understand Society. That was a community service club that has been around since around 2012. In 2019, we, with working with Dan, joined ourselves into a Leo Club. We currently have around 32 members in our club. We meet every Monday during school, during one of our flex times. Our club has gone I said again, it's going through some rebuilding. We had a membership up to 50 members, but we graduated two very large classes in a row. I let my son, who's my vice president, talk about some of the things we accomplished so far this season and then what we have left ahead of us yet.
Good evening. I'm Nate Davidson. I'm the vice president of Tempest Leo Club. This year we have accomplished so far working at the Noodle for fair, having a kids center along with food for the kids that have there. Then we have also had this year our veterans ceremony at the high school, which we were in charge of, which we have many veterans show up to. The school flag that honors all veterans, past and present, and had a veteran come in and speak to the school about what it means to be a veteran. Along with that day, we also visited a retirement home where we visited many veterans that have dementia or things like that, and spend time talking to them and stories from them. And upcoming this week, we have our veterans brunch, which we'll be having after Thanksgiving break, and our Christmas movie night, along with Polar Express Day, which is where we go to Mountain Rock elementary schools and meet with the kindergarten kids and have a day where we do Polar Express Day themed activities with kids.
And also, we clean up part of 233 in the spring and fall, which did that about a half ago. And the other activity we're very successful work with the gentlemen in our community. It's obviously we're all aware of what happened in North Carolina. Our club, in conjunction with two other clubs, we were able to fill 2 tractor trailers worth of supplies to be taken down North Carolina. A gentleman donated his truck, drivers, and trailers. We were very successful with that. Again, it was a good thing for kids to see an outpouring of the community for that event. And again, we will also have in spring here as well a movie night in spring for the parents, for obviously spring theme. We do an Earth Day activity, trash pickup, and we also do what's called Sons at the Stadium. That's something our club participates in with other clubs. Kind of an end of year picnic party, so to speak, with all the clubs basically coming together to do something for kids and send a final send off at the end of the year.
Thank you very much, Tempest. I'd like to give everyone an opportunity to either provide additional comments now that they've heard everybody's comments, and or to ask questions of other advisors or other students. And I'll let you decide who'd like to go first with that.
I would ask questions. How does other groups go about getting membership? Most of our membership we don't typically do drives. Our membership has basically been on members themselves recruiting other kids to come into the group. Like I said, we annually usually pick up about 10 to 12 new members a year. So most of it, again, it's through the freshmen and upperclassmen that are basically being invited to the club by other members. I'm assuming just like the Lions Club itself does. Does anybody do anything special as far as trying to go as far as recruitment is concerned?
We don't do anything specific at Dallastown for recruitment, but at the beginning of every school year, we do have an activities fair where all of the clubs and activities can just set up a table with information that the new students, especially, with 9th graders incoming, can go around and check out all of the different activities that are available. And so, that usually gets a few maybe to at least check it out, but ours is basically word of mouth from other students. And it's odd that one year, like we don't have a large membership this year, but the members, the few, who are dedicated or showing up to things. And last year we had so many people who were on our roster of as members, but they just showed up to meetings and then that was it. They came to a monthly meeting and didn't do anything else. It's, you know, so we just are kind of all over the place.
One thing I might suggest, and again, it's a free app. It's called Spawn, SPOND. I have used that app as a means of communication with my students. It is very user friendly. Trust me, I'm technology challenged in a lot of ways. It is an easy app to use, and what I like about it is it does a lot of nice things. But the nice thing about it is I can populate a calendar. And I said, I'll try my best. I know it's going to be a little small for you to look at. But what I'm able to do with this, and this is helpful because teenagers being teenagers, and I have one in my household here, I know how that is. You send out emails, you try to use other forms of communication. What ends up happening is they don't know times and places information. So, for instance, my Veterans Brunch, which is on December 6th, I have basically, I'm not sure how well you can see it on the screen there. It has location, the times, information. It breaks it down and tells me how many people actually are attending the event, who has not answered yet to the question about whether or not they will attend, who has declined. Then it gives me all the breakdown. I can also do additional comments in there as far as, again, special information, like, for instance, if the event requires them to, like for our Veterans Day event, we just had the wreath changing ceremony. It was a nice general reminder in there of the link. This is what business casual looks like, so they knew what was the expectation, what they should be wearing that day. I have found that to be a very useful app because when we first started out as a Leo Club a few years ago, that was one of the biggest things we really wanted to change when our membership was growing and growing, was that the communication. Kids, even though we would put minutes out from each week about things, it took, not everybody read them. And this I found was one of the best ways to communicate with kids. And again, I can look at this night now and I know exactly who's coming to the event. That helps me planning things. We said, for instance, our family movie night coming up here on the 13th. I know that I often need to get out and find a few extra kids because the numbers of kids that we're going to need to pull off an event is going to be a list minimum of like somewhere between 18 to 22 kids that we're going to pull off effectively. So again, it's very nice and simple. I have the whole entire year populated, so the kids can see 100% what the calendar is going to be. So especially with kids who play sports, kids who have jobs, it works real well. Again, it's pronounced Spawn, SPOND. And I said again, it's a free app. It basically, again, I have set up in that parents, if they wish, you can also can access it as well. There, they can message back and forth with those questions about things. It's one of those things. Again, I found it probably one of the best apps I've ever had to use, and with coaching, Boy Scouts, and with this, I find it's still the best one. I'm actually trying to get the Boy Scouts to move over to this as well, because a lot of parents, again, things are paper copies on the wall, which doesn't help parents when they're at home and they need to know something. This way, they can immediately look at the app and say, okay, I know where I need to go. And if we signed up to do this, it makes life a little easy for me.
Well, we do
And-
use tools like our Google, we have a Google Classroom for all of the members. We use Remind, because we're expected to use something like that for communication. But that's for once we already have members.
Anthony, do you want to talk a little bit about recruitment? And Jackson, if you want to add anything, go ahead and type in the chat and we can relay it and see it.
Yeah, our recruitment styles have they've shifted quite a bit. Sometimes we've gone back to ideas. Sometimes we just don't. Sometimes we just try it and it doesn't work out. We've done morning announcements. We have those we have like a college fair at our school. Sorry, not college. Club fair, and we set up a booth there and we talked to the up and coming middle schoolers, telling them how like they can join Leo Club. Um, did we do flyers? I feel like we've done flyers one year, did we?
We have done, we sent those out.
Oh, yeah.
Or we had them available at at the club fair. Uh, and then we also had, I think this year, the most effective thing we had is some word of mouth.
Yeah.
And we have a number of, well, Anthony's a good example, and a number of others are are siblings to members who were previously in the club. So that works out well. But we are our club starts at 7th grade because 7 through 12 shares the same facility at Biglerville or Upper Adams. And we've gone into the middle school lunches, and members have gone in and talked to the middle schoolers, the whole group that's in the cafeteria, inviting them and then handing out flyers to interested students that way. So that really worked out well this year. Communication wise, we and these guys know it better than I do because I don't manage it. I'm not in the school. But we use is it a Google Classroom also, guys?
Yes, it's a Google Classroom, and our president is very good at like sending out reminders and emails too. So that's how we usually stay communicated among the officers and members.
Yeah, we do multiple. I typically send out emails to parents as well as the members who have their own email accounts. I can't email them through the school accounts, but I send out email meeting reminders and follow-ups and that kind of thing so that parents are aware of what's going on. And then either Jackson or our President Callie will take that message and put it in the Google Classroom or the school email accounts and send it out so that we try to keep that communication going. I was kind of interested, you were mentioning, I think the sound was a little distorted, Scott, but I think you were saying about a veterans, or was it your son that was saying about a veterans program or something that you do with veterans? Is that Valentine's Day or when is that?
We do a veterans.
Uh-oh. You
We
just
do
froze.
on every year, and that's a veterans wreath ceremony. And Randall Sugar, who was a alumni of Big Spring, who obviously was killed in Mogadishu in 1993, we have at our flagpole a monument dedicated to him. And since we became once that high school was open, we have annually made that a part of our ceremony. We do a wreath, we do a flag retirement ceremony, and that is obviously with help of veterans in our community. We do a flag retirement ceremony, and that flag is always given to a member or a community who's a veteran, oldest or youngest. It kind of changes from year to year. We then we exchanged the wreaths from the previous year with a new wreath dedicated to the monument. We laid flowers down at the wreath on behalf of each of the classes. It's grown a lot. We have the chorus involved, the band involved, so it obviously has a bigger school feel involvement wise. We have got speakers from the community. This in the last 2 years, we've also reached out as well. This year, we had a gentleman who's a lieutenant colonel from the War College came and spoke to the student body. Again, we even have the last 2 years. I have a good friend. She is a bagpiper. She has come in and has actually helped with obviously again part of the ceremony as well. At the end of taps, she plays on the bagpipe, Amazing Grace, and I'm telling you, it tugs a lot of heartstrings. We also, that's part of that ceremony. It's about an hour in length before the beginning of the school day, and it's basically the entire high school involved. And we then on a date, usually as close as we can, go to Pearl Harbor Day. We do an event where we have a veterans brunch, where that event, the school district has supported us wholeheartedly. They cover the cost for all the veterans and their spouses who come to this event. The Tempest Leo Club members, we basically pay for them. It's a brunch for the veterans. And then after the brunch, we then go and we have the course. Again, trying to get more people involved with the ceremony involvement as well. The chorus and the medley of Christmas music and some contemporary music for the time period. I have a guest speaker coming in as well, touch base about it changes from year to year based on the guest speaker we have come in. We've done historical traveling trunks, which I would highly recommend that program to any of you. That's something that's an outreach to the community. I can explain more about that. And then we have, I always invite, again, in conjunction with the Mount Rock Elementary School, it's next to us. We have the kindergartners come over, and they always have worked out, have made some crafts or something to give to veterans, and that kind of wraps up the ceremony. We did that because we tried to do it all in one day, and what we found out is with so many competing interests that day among elementary schools, particularly for events, grandfathers, fathers, etc. And they have a choice of going to a Veterans Day brunch or something like that. That's a kind of meal for their grandson, or going to ours at school, which is, hey, they appreciate what you do, but they have a chance going to see a grandchild or their child. We all know where they're going to go. They're going to go to those places. And we've always just have tried to take a viewpoint that's change away from that. We want to make sure that the veterans get a chance to get thanked for more than just Veterans Day itself. We thank them for it. The program has continued to grow and grow each year. We had upwards of 70, 75 people coming prior to COVID. Ever since COVID, we are slowly but surely having that number bounce back up to where right now we're roughly about 50 people come to the event. So again, it's something that, again, we've really tried to encourage through social media, through school district, and through word of mouth and newspaper to get people to come to it. So again, it's something that has really grown a lot over the last 4 or 5 years.
Thank you.
Any other questions or comments for each other?
When you do that veterans that you were just talking about,
Mhm.
you said you do it what, closer to when?
The brunch or the brunch, we do it. I chose the nearest date to me that was of historical significance to veterans, which is Pearl Harbor Day.
Okay. So you're
That's
looking
why
at
that date
December
was
7th.
chosen. And again, it works out perfectly well for everybody. It typically usually falls, again, if all possible, again, we try to use that date. And again, in conjunction with our head of our Charles Wells, she puts out a table as well for MIA. And I have quite a few things in my collection, including a flag that actually flew over the Arizona Memorial that we put out a nice little exhibit each year about the Arizona. Again, that's kind of my own little private little thing, because my grandmother, when I was a little kid, my great grandmother had that big huge calendar and there was a Pearl Harbor Day on there, and I always asked to know about that as a kid. And, she said, at one point that was a significant thing that everyone used to stop and take time to remember. She said as our generation got older and older, it became, well, on military bases, they do something, but it became less and less something that was done in public. So it's kind of my own little private, a little war against. We're not
No, I
forgetting
understand. I understand. I just wanted to make sure that's what I heard, because
Yep.
I like that idea, because there's a lot happens on Veterans Day and right around there, but it's like it's forgotten after that. So thank you.
No problem.
Ray, do you want to say a word? I haven't given you the opportunity to talk.
That's
Ray
fine.
is in Carlisle and is working at working at the development of a Leo Club. You want to talk about what you're doing?
Well, what we did is we went in, instead of going through the school district, I'm looking at building a community club in conjunction with the Carlisle Family YMCA. They have multiple programs for leadership for 7th graders, 9th and 10th graders. Don't have anything for 8th or any of the other grades. So I'm working with them. We've had one introduction meeting. Currently, I have 2 papers in hand, but several more pledged. We're having another meeting, introductory meeting on what is Leo's in December, and just trying to get enough members to get it started. The YMCA is providing the location, the contact, the website, and free membership for the Leos. And then, of course, we're taking care of everything else within the Carlisle Club. So we're just working on getting it started. And that's part of the reason I'm on, is to hear some of the things you're doing to help me help the Leos here in Carlisle. So I thank you for that.
Let me ask one other thing of everybody before we move on to the next topic. Is there anything that you would like other clubs to provide information about that you would benefit you, that you need help with in your Leo club? We've talked about membership. Is there anything else that the ideas or experience of another club might be beneficial to you?
One thing I would offer, and I'll gladly share it by email. With our club, basically, we always had our membership. Membership can join at any point in the rolling membership, just like Lions Club. But we typically would have our Leo induction, and when district governor would come, usually in February or March. And one thing I always kind of felt like was when we got to that event, all there was as far as a Leo induction was a very brief little thing, and I looked all over the place trying to find something to give a little bit more pomp and circumstance to the event. And I absolutely could not find anything out there that other than basically just pretty much almost mirrored what you would say if we're joining the Lions Club. And what I really wanted to try to do was make something that was a powerful statement about what it means to be a Leo, and how to obviously kind of do that was I actually sat down with the help of my Leo officers, and we put together about 3 years ago an actual program, start to finish, with obviously the candle ceremony, where obviously each candle represents something for obviously the initials of what Leo stands for. We talk about community involvement, quotes and different readings. We have poems in there. It's a pretty nice ceremony. And I said, again, I'm just putting it out there for anyone who wants to look it over. And it's one of those things I just kind of felt like for young people, it's especially, I think, important when you get an opportunity to be part of a club. My wife runs the Spanish Honor Society, and I know she has something similar for her club. Feeling like, again, you want to make it, that these kids have waited this long to be part of this club. You want to make it more than just simply raising your hand saying, basically, yes, and move on. We want to do something, and the whole ceremony incorporates our officers, members of the club, and also we allow the seniors as well as a part of the closing part of the thing. The seniors get a chance to, in essence, reminisce about what things they liked about being a Leo, and give a chance to kind of encourage the younger membership about, carrying on, so to speak, the traditions that we've established. The traditions don't graduate; they move from class to class to class. So, just throwing it out there for someone if you're looking for something like that. I have put some together, and again, I'd gladly share with anybody.
Yeah, I'd definitely like to see that.
So I will work it out through the email and get it back to everybody about it again. And I will put my email if anybody wants to again, talk, or I will include a number on there. I'll gladly give any additional information about it. I said again, I think Dan, you actually have seen that ceremony at one of our new bill meetings. And I said again, I just trying to really incorporate that. And one thing we do within our own club is we do a Leo of the Year within our club. The top three people that actually get for our service hours. Last year, our club I think we were just shy of 850 hours of service time in the club. So again, our top three individuals that had service hours, we awarded Leo of the Year medals to, basically just as a way, again, of tangibly trying to say thank you to these kids, to acknowledge that. And that's something, again, that they can wear on their graduation regalia once they graduate as well.
Thank you, Scott. Anybody else?
I'd be curious what the other clubs, when new members come in, what do you at your induction ceremony, what do you give them? We've been giving a membership certificate, a pin, and a window cling sticker that you can get from the Lions store.
We are very informal. We don't have a ceremony at all. We do track their volunteer hours and encourage. Joy, you could jump in how many hours each trimester, and that they can earn a cord for graduation.
Yeah, so for the hours, seniors, if they do 10 hours for the school year, they get a graduation cord. But we suggest that every member does 3 hours per trimester so that they can meet the 10 hours by the end of the year.
Now, do you count your hours? Does it have to be after school hours, or can it be hours for things done during the school day?
We just count any hours that were done for any of the service projects that we provide.
Okay, because that's something we've split the same thing, we requirement as well for hours, but we have kids. It has to be so many hours in each thing, and we did that because we wanted to encourage students to getting out of class to go do an event is, hey, that's great, I can get out of class and do that kind of field trip. We wanted to encourage kids to also on Saturdays where, instead of sleeping in real late, they're getting up and going out and helping pick up trash on 233. They're going to like movie night we have coming up here on Friday night. So again, we as an officer kind of sat down and said we wanted to they have to get a little bit from both categories to avoid obviously kids, being members, but only being members to a certain degree. Because that was a concern on our part, was there were some kids that would always conveniently show up for the in-school stuff, and then where was anything after school or on the weekends, they conveniently always seem to have, as we jokingly said, a biblical plague set upon their house that they could never show up for the event. And that was kind of thing we wanted to try to get the kids to understand. Membership is something that requires you to make choices and sacrifices sometimes of your own social schedule to do the things to help other people out. So thank you.
Yeah, we don't do any things during the school day except for the meetings. So yeah, everything is outside of school.
How about fundraisers? Do any of you do fundraisers to support your club efforts?
We have done, as my son said earlier, we have done the Kitty Land at our Lions Club fair each summer. We've done chicken barbecues. That chicken barbecue is one of our best fundraisers we've made. But I usually try to do conjunction with obviously another club. Just obviously, and I encourage you to do that as well, because the more people involved, the more chickens you can sell, the better price for obviously chicken and other ingredients. We usually have asked people to help with obviously donations whenever possible on certain things, because the more we can obviously decrease the overhead, the better. We've made over $2,000+ in some cases on some of those chicken barbecues, so that's been very helpful over the years. And again, hoagies, pizzas, standard things like that we've done.
We don't individually do any fundraising at school. We will offer that as one of the volunteer opportunities, is if the Lions Club is doing a fundraiser and they need help setting up or whatever it is, that those are just strictly volunteer hours. And I had this kind of just handed off to me quite a few years ago, and didn't know anything about it. And the person who had run it before, I didn't have contact with. So, but we have this balance of money, and we didn't really use it for anything. Again, like I said, a lot of times our membership is small. And again, our goal is just to support the Lions Club with the volunteer activities with the few members that we can get to volunteer those hours, say on the weekends and things like that. So we've never really had a need to do that.
Okay, well, why don't we move on to our last topic of discussion for well, it's kind of our last topic. And that's the possibility of some kind of a joint coordinated effort between our schools. Did any of you think about that at all? Would you have any idea of what that would look like? If could, is there some way we could do a joint effort among this the Leo clubs in our district? I realize this is the hardest question I'm going to ask you today. There are some challenges. I realize even in asking that question, there are some challenges to that. We're in different places. We're tied into our school calendars. But you know, just a thought. Um, we could do a project of some kind. We have district cabinet meetings 3 times a year. On a Saturday morning. And if we all made a commitment to, and I don't know what we do, let's say we did Jared boxes for hospitals or something like that. Would it be possible for us to get together on a Saturday morning at a cabinet meeting and do something like that? Or is there something we could do individually in our settings and bring it all together in some way?
PTG Dan, I was thinking about something that all Lions hold near and dear, and that is Pennsylvania Beacon Lodge.
Okay.
Now, my Leos will put, I get them the wish list, and they put together, usually for me, an entire package of just odds and ends that's needed. We could have each of the Leo clubs do that and bring it all together and be able to present that to Beacon Lodge, maybe at the cabinet meeting or something like that. What do you think?
Well, that sounds reasonable. Um does everybody know what Bacon Lodge is? Want to talk a little about Bacon Lodge, Teresa, just to make sure everybody knows?
Absolutely. Pennsylvania Lions actually have a camp for people, not just children, but it goes the whole gambit of ages. And for these people who have disabilities, could be children or people who have sight disabilities, could be other kinds of disabilities. A lot of the Lions clubs actually raise money to sponsor a camper, and they go up over the summer, and they camp there for a week. And we had a family a couple years ago that had a young child. They were unable to go on vacation because this child is blind. And the entire family went up. We paid for them to go up, and they actually, the mom had told us that they could actually vacation for the first time since they had their child, because you just have to figure when you can't see or you have another kind of disability, they just can't vacation like the rest of us do. And it's a wonderful club up in Mount Union. And we actually have a group that goes up, I think it's 2 weeks out of the summer, for our disabled veterans and their families. So they do amazing work, but they do need not only money, but they need supplies. And there's a wish list that comes out every year. And we are given this wish list, and we collect items on that wish list so that Beacon Lodge can operate for the next summer.
Okay, that's a great idea, Teresa. What about at other clubs? Might that be a project that we could do something in a coordinated kind of way? We wouldn't have to be in the same place at the same time to do that,
Can you, can,
if we were going to do it.
can you give us, can you give me an idea? Obviously, again, what kind of items are we looking at? Are we talking about that we're looking here? I mean, again, like I said, I know when we did our drive for North Carolina, we were given a list of things that they needed. Is there a list that's out there, or is there something, you can shed some light on? Because I said, again, I'm familiar with Beacon Lodge, but obviously what you're talking about as far as this, I'm not so familiar with. I'd be curious.
The wish list.
Keep talking. If you
I'm
guys
sorry.
keep discussing this, I'll go on the internet, or I'll go to the Beacon Lodge website and find it and bring it up on screen share.
I have it. Well, okay, you bring up screen share. I have it here, but I don't have it screen share.
You can share your screen, right?
Well, now you're gonna make me have to remember how to do it here. Here we go. You're testing me. Can you see it?
No, can you, we can see it's showing, but it's very small.
There
Okay.
you go. There you go.
There's all
I can
kinds
fix
of,
that part.
We can actually get this to everyone. And that way you have it. There's just everything from,
yeah.
things for the kids to do to the Tylenols and for little kids when they fall and hurt themselves, to first aid kits, to, oh my God, there's everything on there too. I think copiers and all kinds of stuff. So
Office supplies, maintenance, activity stuff, kitchen supplies, housekeeping, infirmary items. I mean, the list goes on and on because this is how they survive.
And we could narrow the list where for each club, maybe each club selects a category to support, as opposed to, trying to manage the whole list or something like that. That would be a possibility. And I guess if we wanted to promote the camp even more at our schools, we could ask for broader donations from the school. I guess that'd be something you'd have to check with the school administration to see if that's a possibility to do.
We could probably do, I mean, you can go on the Beacon Lodge website, and this is any of the clubs. Can go on the Beacon Lodge website if you wanted to be more informed about Beacon Lodge. They have a good website with a good display of information about what the camp is. And you could use that if you wanted to better inform your students about Beacon Lodge.
that's a great idea, Dan, because what you could do is put up a display and have the kids actually try to get the actual students get involved in their school to bring these items in.
Yeah, I mean,
And
again, we do something like that with Toys for Tots. I'm sure we could also do something like that for this as well. And again, if all possible, I'd like to keep it open that we could get anything we can because, like off the bat, I had given to me like a ton of D batteries that are never opened that the Boy Scouts needed for NYLT, and they ordered them and used them, and whatever they had left over, they had boxes and boxes. They gave the kids. Said, we're not going to try to keep them because we had nowhere to store them. That's what I'd love to give. And I said, I can think of like anything else. There's going to be people within your community that, someone may look at business. Hey, I can donate a box of copier paper. Again, like I said, I found with this whole thing we did for North Carolina, you're going to, different people came out of the woodwork offering different things that I never would have thought that person would have to be able to do that. I think, again, whatever we can provide, extra this or that, it takes a burden off them or that they don't have to buy this, then they haven't for a while. I think, again, keeping it as open as possible because, again, I feel like when you start restricting things, I feel like that's where somebody says, well, I can't afford that price threshold. I can't do this. But if you open it up to anything, again, it's amazing how, again, we've had people just turn up with things that, wow, just because, again, well, that particular person maybe works for a company that, hey, we can donate this, we can donate that. And, I hate to say no, turn away not that we would, but I mean, again, I think it gives everybody the benefit of the latitude to kind of work within your own community, what you can actually get to and have access to.
Is this something also that we could do through the Lions, through the District 14C newsletter, asking Lions Club to help the Leos to do this project so that we all can get involved?
Yeah, I don't see why not. The clubs are always encouraged to collect items. I just thinking a little bit here, I think a good target might be to have the items collected and deliver them to the district convention. And then they could, because the work weekend is probably, the district convention's early this year. I think the first weekend in April. So then those items, the work weekend is probably after that, sometime later in April, and then the items could be delivered up to the camp after that.
I love that idea because then what we can do is have every Leo club be able to bring it to the district convention and display it at the district convention as to what the Leos have done for Beacon Lodge.
Anthony and Jackson, I'm just thinking out loud here, but our club does a bake sale typically in February or March, and maybe instead of paying for items, like you bring a donation of an item for the wish list, and they can get a free bake sale item.
Yeah, I think that would be great, and it would definitely make our bake sale stand out a bit more. So, that's a great idea.
I definitely would do that for your fudge.
Hey, I don't know, Teresa, do you want to, would you have the time to do just kind of a summary of what we talked about with this project?
Absolutely.
And kind of some guidelines for what we want to do. And a timeline of some kind, and maybe that can be our project for this year. I think it would be a wonderful project.
That's perfect. I can do that. I'll get it to you, Dan, or if you want to send me a list of everybody's email, I can get it out to everyone.
I'll send it to you.
Okay, honey, thanks.
All right, let me, it's getting close to our hour. Let me say thanks to all of you. I wonder if I'd like to talk about Leo of the Year for a second. I wonder if the advisors would stay on for a moment, just so we can talk about Leo of the Year. And we will ask the students to leave so that we can do that. And I want to thank everybody, thank all of you, all of the students who have participated today in this. It has been very helpful. And we'll think about doing it again at another time. So thank you very much, students. We'll see you another time.
Dan, is
And
there
if
a way we can have a wrap up after the district convention for everyone to actually get together and see what exactly has been donated completely? Because not everybody's going to get to see that.
let's do that. We'll do that. We'll plan for a wrap up after the district convention. Well, I'll get something out to the 3 clubs. I'll work with past district governor Dennis and see if we can come up with a date to do a wrap up with the 3 clubs. How about that?
Yeah. And we
And
might
maybe-
actually be 5 clubs by that time.
Might be 5 clubs. That's right.
At the district convention, could we get Tom Jones to come and maybe accept all of the donations?
Yeah, I'm sure he'll be there.
That's perfect. Then we get a picture with the Leos and him, and that'd be awesome. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Okay. So,
Okay.
Anthony Jackson, you know how to end your meeting?
Yeah. Oh, leave.
Yep.
Is the leave button? All right. Oh, thank you,
Bye,
for having me.
guys.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Joy had to go to work, so
No, yeah, no problem.
I kept thinking she was going to leave, and I was like, well, I hope it doesn't take her long to get to work because she stayed on quite a while.
Well, let's just talk about Leo of the Year. Let me ask you first, if you all got a copy of the application that I sent out. Do you have that? Did you get that
Yes.
application for Leo of the Year?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Have all of you completed that application at one time or another?
Yes.
So that it would not be new to you to do it again.
Yeah.
I
Yep.
could figure that out. I don't know that I have, if I have or
Yeah.
have or not.
Last year, I believe, Michelle, one of our students did.
Yeah,
She-
I think I let the students take care of that. I was taught a long time ago that people ask you for something like a recommendation letter or something, have them write their own first. I don't often do that to students, but I do like them to just do it themselves first.
Well, there is a section on the, one of the questions on the form requires them to provide some narrative. So that, you know, but yeah, I think it's great for them to do some of that. I don't think the form is real friendly as far as just the putting the data or the typing into the form or whatever. It's kind of awkward. But that aside, I would say that my club is pretty young this year, as far as years of experience, whatever. So those 2 that were on are a 10th grader and a 9th grader. And our president is a 9th grader. We had 10 seniors graduate last year. So I don't have anybody that in our club this year that I think is ready to be nominated for the district Leo of the Year. So I know we had the awardee last year. I think Scott, you had the year before.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know that that Dallastown, if we've ever had one from your club that's been recognized as the district Leo of the Year.
Not yet.
Joy is a senior and has been involved for quite a few years. I probably, I guess 3 years,
Mhm.
maybe. Yeah, for the past 3 years. So I was last year, she's mentioned the like the murder mystery. So that the Lions Club did puts on as a fundraiser, and so the students performed you know, this murder mystery and organized you know, the whole narrative and things like that. And she, when I knew her as a 10th grader, she is quiet, but she was, you know, very, very quiet. And I that was like the turning point. Yes, she did you know, I saw it before that, but last year I never in my wildest dreams expected her to be standing in front of a crowd of people she did not know and acting a part in a play. Like she is very successful with violin, things like that in orchestra. But I was just amazed. And then she stepped up to be president because we, you know, had a lot of people leave as well. And so, I mean, like I said, we are, I think, a smaller group. We're very informal. So, you know, and maybe don't do as much as other clubs. But I just, I'm really proud of her for stepping up, being president, taking charge.
She's Teresa's and Michelle, she sounds like a good candidate.
Mhm.
Yes, she would be. She
Yeah.
would. She has come to every event. When we had the Halloween parade, this year we lost our wagon, so we had to have the kids decorate. She took charge, and very, very in a very quiet, calm way. But she's she's bright. She's very brilliant. So I think she'd be a great candidate.
Scott, what about Tempest? Do you have somebody that you are thinking about or not?
I mean, honestly, I'm on this year's seniors. I have some kids that have committed themselves, obviously, a lot to the program. But to be honest with you, this young lady, obviously, that we're talking about here sounds like to me she epitomizes what we want to see these kids become. Obviously, coming leadership, you know, experience, opportunity. This sounds like she is the very personification of what we want to have that person be. I mean, I could nominate a few people, but honestly, at this point, I mean, this young lady sounds like a candidate. If she was sitting before me right now on the committee, I'd be giving her a thumbs up and say, yeah, that's the kind of person I'd want to nominate.
I think especially if she's a senior, yeah, this is the last shot she would have to do that. And Scott, if you have some people in the pipeline, some juniors that are potential candidates next year, yeah, I think that'd be great because I don't think I will even, my kids can wait. I think the student who's the president this year or whatever, she's a go-getter and she'll be there, but I don't, she'll have time.
Well, why don't we leave it to Dallastown then to work at getting helping this young lady get an application together
Okay.
for Leo of the Year.
Oh, I'm looking at, I did do
Dennis?
this before.
Dennis,
Now that I'm
do
looking
you-
at it,
Do you know what the due date is on that?
Is it usually the end of like December?
Yeah, it's sometime in December. It should go to the governor. That was that in that email.
It wasn't in the email. There was not a due date in the email.
the only one on the form is the final application deadline, which is March 1st.
Yeah, that and
Yes.
yeah, that's not the
Right.
that's like Yeah,
That's
our,
the
our
end,
due date is
final.
much earlier than that. Give me a second here. I want to search.
Yeah, that's all. I see.
Trying to think who that came from.
Did it come from Galen? I don't remember.
We got something directly from the state coordinator. I'm drawing a
Oh,
blank on her
oh,
name.
Amy Tompkins.
Amy, thank you. Leo of the Year application. Okay. By December 15th. She has to have it by December 15th. And I think the form requires the governor's signature.
Yeah, it does.
All applications must be returned to me by December 15th to ensure enough time for me to review and get them to the council chair for the council governor. Okay. So yeah, I would say you need to get that to Galen sooner rather than later.
Who should I send it to?
To our district governor, and Teresa can probably help you with that.
Okay.
Michelle, if you want, I can send you a copy of the one I did last year, just as a sample, and yeah.
Okay.
Got to brag her up, you know, because
Yes.
her nomination then will go in with the others from the other districts in the state for the state Leo of the Year.
Okay.
You can't go wrong with that one because she also wound up being, if I remember correctly, Dennis, she wound up being state Leo of the Year.
Yes.
Yeah, so
Now there's a resume enhancer.
yeah, that's a resume enhancer. You got that right.
Michelle, when you get that done, sweetheart, just send it to me. I'll send it in.
Okay.
And the 15th is a Sunday, so it ought to get to the district governor by like the 11th or 12th of December. So he has time to do whatever he has to do with it.
Okay.
Michelle, what's your email address?
It's my first name, so it's MICHELLE Godfrey, GODFREY at dallastown.net.
Okay.
So Teresa, maybe like December 9th is a Monday. I'm
Yeah,
looking.
because we have the cans for the poor on the 13th that we're going to be needing to do. And
Yeah.
then we hand that out on the 17th. So I think at the beginning of that week would probably be a good idea so that we can make sure that we get this in. I'm sorry, but this is exciting stuff.
It is exciting. Thank you very much. Anything else from anybody else? I think we did great.
Yeah, thank you, Dan, for putting this together. It's very informative, really helpful. And Michelle, if you can just stay on, I'm in the process of getting this to you.
Okay.
I just want to make sure it comes through to you.
Okay.
Thanks, everybody, for putting up with me and letting me listen, because I got some good notes.
Well, good luck in getting your
Yeah,
10,
good
your
luck,
10
Ray.
people.
Well, I just sent an email out to them, especially the ones that have pledged to become members. And part of the thing is, I said to them, as part of being a Leo, is challenges and hitting goals. And I'm challenging them to hit the goal of helping me get people. So we'll see what happens. So I got to talk to the YMCA and about some more information they're sending out to try to help get the numbers too. So we'll see what happens. So thanks, everybody. I'm going to get out of the way.
Okay.
All right, Ray. Thank you.
Thanks.
Nice to see you.
Michelle, I just sent that, and I would also recommend that you get when you send that to, or when you get that together, You might as well just get a picture of her also ready because they will ask for, or they might ask for that if she would be selected for the Leo of the Year. Definitely they'll ask for that. But one year they did all the district winners and put them in the State Lion magazine. And so they wanted pictures for everybody. So just so you have it and are ready to go.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Yep.
It shouldn't be too hard. I just wrote her a letter of recommendation last month, so
Yeah.
pull that up.
Thanks.
And get with IT tomorrow about this video. I've never had this happen. Hate when I can't fix something.
It's probably my Zoom link. It's
No. I did get it to have my name pop up there instead of the
yeah.
blocked
Yeah, you did.
camera.
Yes, you did.
I've been just playing around. Hmm.
Okay.
All
We
right,
good?
folks. Thank you very much.
Thank you, guys. Great
Thank
meeting.
you.
Yeah,
Good night,
nice to
everybody.
talk to you.
All right,
Nice to talk
bye-bye.
to you. Bye now.
Bye-bye.